Hello, Tarot viewers. Welcome to our timeless oracle reading. And our oracle card for today belongs to the Dream Reading Cards by Inserra. Okay. The card for today is entitled Trust. Trust yourself and the universe's plan for you. Do not give your trust to others lightly. When one door closes, another opens. The important thing here is to always remember that the universe always means for the best of always considers what is best for us. Okay. So there's always a need for us to trust that invisible guiding hand. When you look at this card right now, there is a small hand touching a dark, big hand. For me, the darkness represents the mystery, which is the spirit or the divine or the universe. And the three red lines here are for me like the graces that are emanating from the hand of the universe to our receiving receptive hand. Um, when we were still young, it's easy for us to trust our intuition. Usually we are very, very spontaneous. The moment an inspiration comes to us, we don't hesitate and immediately apply that inspiration in our life. So children are usually very spontaneous and they trust their intuition. Now, as we grew older, somehow we lost that spontaneity, or also that trust to our intuition. And maybe that is the invitation for us with this card to learn to trust again our intuition. Now, how can we start learning to trust our intuition? Usually, the first thought that comes to us when we find ourselves in a certain situation, these are usually the message that is coming from the universe. And these are also the messages that we can get from our intuition. The first thought, usually after the first thought comes, our logical mind takes over. And then sometimes we doubt what the first thought has given us. Now, the challenge for us is to learn to trust more the first thing that comes into our mind the moment the situation comes. Once we start doing that, all we have to do is to take that first step of trusting the first thought that comes. Once you get to know that, once we get to learn to trust the first thoughts, experience will teach us to learn to trust it more. Because oftentimes when you trust your first thoughts, usually the universe confirms that inspiration after the situation unfolds itself. And then you get to realize, yes, it was true. My intuition was right. Now, the more you realize, the more situations wherein you find your intuition to be right, the more you learn to trust your first thoughts, your gut feelings. And that is the challenge, learning to trust more the intuition. Even if the logical mind seemed to rebel or counter what the first thought was. So it's a matter of practice, relearning. Actually, it's a relearning process because we already had it when we were young. We just slowly lost it when we started to, the world has taught us to rely more on our uh, logical mind or our logical capacity. But as we grow older now, we realize that the logical capacity, although it is reliable in certain situations, need also the help of our intuition. And so we need to relearn again that capacity to trust our gut feeling and the first thoughts that come into our mind. And oftentimes when we realize also that these are also the inspirations and the messages that the spirit and the universe is giving us. Now let us try to read a little bit more from the handbook that the companies discard so that we can gain more insight regarding trust. So trust means you are ready to risk what you currently have. The inner voice is in your highest truth. Listen to your gut instinct. Trust your own instincts against those whose opinions are absolutes and use the word should or must. Do not be intimidated by authority or the status quo. Trust that your insights will lead you to your passion. When you cannot use logic alone, believe that a bigger picture for your life plan does indeed exist. It may not be clear to you right now, but know that whatever is happening is a blessing to you. This may not be obvious at the present time, but you will look back and be thankful that whatever is happening in your life right now is meant to be. Trust that you are being supported and that you are a co-creator of your own destiny. Trust means taking risks at love, finishing that novel, joining a choir, buying a home, traveling alone to unfamiliar places. Be willing to show your vulnerabilities and risk being rejected or laughed at. Trust that it is all for your growth and ultimately for your own good. Allow yourself to imagine your future with an open heart and mind. Ask the universe to guide you, but be willing to receive help whenever and however it happens. Do not doubt the power of miracles. So this is trust. No? Trust yourself and the universe plan for you. Do not give your trust to others lightly. So have also good boundaries. Always take things with a grain of salt. And at the same time, when one door closes, there will always be another door that will open. So having good boundaries is also good. You trust people, but at the same time also experiences taught you also to sometimes don't immediately trust what is being said to you. Listen also to your intuition. I think that is the message there. Not immediately trusting others, because oftentimes your gut feeling will tell you certain things. No? Sometimes learning to free ourselves from the shoulds and shouldn'ts that other people are saying to us, because what might be applicable to other people might not also be applicable to us. So we need to weigh things also. So in a certain sense, really, what we need to regain or to relearn is learning to listen to our intuition, our first thoughts, our gut feelings, and also learning to trust the universe that everything is working out for our own good. Well, I hope this resonates with you, and I hope that it has inspired you and given you insights to move forward in your present life situation. Thank you for the likes and comments that you've given to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. I hope to see you again next time. Until that time, may God continue to bless your ways.